I'm Matt Webb, and you're listening to the Capsule podcast on liveinlimbo.com.
Like a fire craves the rain, like a beggar hopes for change, like a flood needs to drain, and I only need one thing. Point me in your direction. I'm halfway there as a misconception of what it really is.
Hello. Welcome to another edition of Capsule. I am your host, Sean, and with me is my guest co-host, Katrina. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Everything's great. We have an awesome guest today. We have Matt Webb. Say hi.
Oh, hey.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're the lead guitarist of Mariana's Trench. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I play guitar in Mariana's Trench.
And now you're just about to release your second solo EP called Right Direction.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I had a little bit of downtime with Mariana's Trench, so I quickly snuck into the studio to record some songs that I had brewing for a while, and recorded a quick little EP. It's short. The actual physical copy has only 4 songs, but if you get it on iTunes, it's got 6. I wish I had more time to do more songs for everybody, but it just time did not allow. But yeah, I'm really excited, man. It's nice to kind of do something on my own again. It's been a couple of years now, and the first one went really well and was well received, and so I thought I would try it again. And this time I had a much clearer idea of how I wanted things to sound and what I wanted to go for, and I think it came across really well in the EP.
Yeah, I had a quick listen to it. I love the guitar work and the vocals that you placed onto it. I would say it somewhat reminds me of John Mayer. Would you say that you're influenced by artists such as him? Yeah,
absolutely. I tried to make a really sort of guitar-based singer-songwriter-y sounding EP. You know, you hear some John Mayer on there. You hear a little bit of. I'm I'm such an '80s sucker, so there's some '80s sounds on it, and like a, I don't know, Gin Blossomsy sort of thing. But yeah, I absolutely, I take that as a compliment. And like I said, I was trying to create like a guitar-based, organic sounding, cohesive little record, and hopefully it came across.
Oh yeah, it totally did. So one thing that I guess a lot of people wonder is when you're working on these 2 very different projects and very different sounding genres of music, how do you get into the right mood or zone to perform them for each one?
That's an interesting question. I like that question. How are you in the mood to perform them? Well, you know what? When I'm doing a small solo tour in support of this EP, and it's going to be interesting. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm taking out a band with me, and we're really sort of stripping it down. It's right back to basics, meaning I just have. There's 2 guitars, a bass, and drums, and that's it, and some singing. And you know, with Mariana's Trench, we'll go out and again, it's only 4 guys doing the same sort of stuff, but we've got a lot of sort of production elements incorporated into our show, and we try and put on a really flashy performance for everybody so that people are leaving the show just awestruck. With the solo stuff, I mean, these are much smaller shows that I'm playing. I'm really just sort of stripping it down, taking it right back to basics, like I started in the music industry. I'm really happy and excited to be playing small stages and to be able to go and perform for people and interact a little more closely with the audience, be able to come off stage after the show and go and meet people and hang out and let them sort of get to know me a little bit better. With Mariana's, as things get bigger and bigger, it becomes more and more difficult to really to closely connect with people because, you know, we're on these big shows and we're far away from the audience, and you look out into a stadium full of a sea of people, and it's difficult to have those individual connections. But you know, we absolutely used to, and we still strive to do that every day. But it just becomes more challenging just from the sheer, you know, number of people that are coming out now. But with the solo thing, it's really exciting because, you know, not as many people know about it, and I'm not, you know, not expecting massive audiences or anything like that. And I'm happy about that. I'm excited to do something a little different.
No, that's a great answer. So Katrina actually tells me that you're a really nice guy and probably one of the nicest guys in the band. Do you want to follow up on that, Kat?
Oh, thank you, Katrina. Yeah. That's funny.
What's it? Like I was just telling Sean about like your fan interaction. How I remember like a couple of years back you did you invited a bunch of fans like through Twitter to like Marble Slab, and you said that they all like came down and you guys just hung out. And like how do you manage to like keep up? Because I still notice that you still like reply to them and stuff on Twitter. Like how do you manage to keep up with like the size that Mariana Trench has grown to? Like how do you still manage to keep with the fans?
Oh, that's interesting. Well, first thing I'll say is that I don't think I'm the nicest guy in the band. I think there's a lot of nicer guys in the band than me. I'm a jerk, but no. You know what? I love my fans so much. Like you know, they've just always been so supportive, and they're really cool, and they're really well educated about music, and they love music, and which is why it's awesome with this EP thing, because although this genre of music that I'm doing is completely different from Mariana's Trench, a lot of the kids and fans seem to be like really supporting it, and it's cool. You don't see a lot of people who are like super obsessed with one genre of music these days. They like sort of like a lot of stuff, and which is why I sorry, I'm getting off on a weird tangent here, but I think that our fans are so supportive and they're so awesome, and I do everything I can to try and communicate with them as much as possible. I mean, Twitter's a great medium for doing that. And stuff like that Marble Slab thing. Like I love to do funny things like that where I'll be in a random town and send out a tweet and say, like, first couple people that can get here, like, be happy to buy you dinner, get you tickets for the show or whatever. And that's kind of stuff that those are really cool experiences for those people, and they're really cool experiences for me, because I like, these are people that have supported me from the get-go, and why the hell would I not want to treat them with the utmost respect, because they have always been really nice to me, and I they deserve that in return.
I think that proves that you are a really nice guy, man.
Oh, well, thanks, Sean.
So you mentioned that your fans are liking both of your styles of music, but do you think that you've gained any fans that only like your solo stuff?
Oh, I sure hope so. That'd be awesome. Yeah, if people only like my stuff, that's great. If it's definitely got a little more, it's a different feel for sure. I'm not expecting all the Mariana's Trench fans to like what I do. I'm sure many of them will hate it, and that's totally fine. I don't have anything against that. I wanted to create something that was completely different. So, if you're a listener who only likes Mariana's Trench, then you're probably gonna hate my stuff. But the fact is that these days, the way iTunes works and the music industry works, like I said, it's so rare to have one be so obsessed over one genre of music. And I think if I can just create some good songs, and if people are willing to give it a chance and listen to it with open ears, maybe they'll enjoy it. And if they don't, then they don't have to listen to it. Not a big deal.
I totally agree with you on that. Everyone likes a little bit, like the best of each genre of music, I think.
Yeah, for
really
sure,
good.
man. I mean, like, even just yesterday, I'm buying like weird jazz music on iTunes from like 50 years ago, and then I'm buying the new Drake's single, and I'm buying like the Haim record and stuff all over the map. Like I just love like good songs. I don't care what genre it is. You can watch the Grammys and be like, Metallica's awesome, and then Imagine Dragons are awesome, and they don't sound anything like each other. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Oh, did you watch the Grammys by any chance?
Yeah, I sure did. Really.
What did you think of it? What performances really stood out for you?
I mentioned the Imagine Dragons because I thought that was the best one. The one with Kendrick Lamar and Imagine Dragons. I think their energy was fantastic. I was a little disappointed to see that performance at the end cut short. The one with Trent Reznor and Dave Grohl and Josh from Queens of the Stone Age. I'm a big fan of those guys. Having rocks in my roots. So. But there was all good, man. Everybody on that show is a real pro, and it's inspiring to watch. Absolutely.
I don't know if you heard, but there's like a rumor going around that Daft Punk might have actually punked everyone. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear
like that might not have been the actual them, because there's pictures of Daft Punk, the robots sitting in the crowd, and beside them, they look like the guys that are actually Daft Punk.
You're kidding me.
No. I'll post the link in the show notes, and then everyone can check that out.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
I think that's hilarious if that's true.
That's a great idea. I would totally do that.
To me, that looks like the case. So what has the response and feedback, not from your fans, but from your peers in the music industry so far? What's that been like about your solo album, EP?
Oh, it's been great, man. I had a lot of good friends work on this record with me. Got some great musicians from around town, and my good buddy Kevy produced and co-wrote a bunch of stuff, and he's yeah. I mean, amongst musicians, they seem to dig it. It's a nice sort of like I said, organic sounding record. I really wanted to concentrate on hearing individual performances and hearing little breaths and little mistakes, and I didn't want it to be super slick sounding, like pop music is these days. And yeah, I mean, everybody's been really, really complimentary of how it turned out, and I mean, it hasn't come out yet. It's on iTunes on February 4th, and hopefully everybody will dig it.
That's Tuesday, right? That's coming out.
Tuesday.
Oh, that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Katrina, did you have something to ask about the people he's worked with?
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, for Coda and Jacket, you wrote with like multiple producers. Is it the same for Right Direction?
This time on Right Direction, I wrote with Kevy a lot, and I wrote with a couple other people as well, but it was more cohesive this time. Kevy produced the whole thing. Before I was working with a bunch of different producers, and this time I just had one producer, and I did that because I wanted to have one consistent sound. I didn't want it to be varying, so I used like the same instruments, same musicians, same same studio, same gear, everything, and same producer, and yeah, and that's why it turned out the way it did.
That's awesome. And also, did you find the writing process for this EP easier or harder than like when you wrote like Mariana's Trencher the first time around?
This one was a bit weird because I had like, typically the way that I write songs is I will have the music in, like I'll record the music, sort of a demo of the music by myself, and I'll sing just some gibberish vocals, like literally like blah 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 vocals in the melody that I want to hear in the song. But I sort of do lyrics last, and sort of yeah, and then I got this opportunity to record the record, and I had this music, but I didn't really have the lyrics and the melodies done yet. So it was quite rushed to do it, but I got together with Kevy and with a couple other buddies, and we just crushed through it, and it came together really well. I was able to reflect on a lot of my personal experiences over the last couple of years, and I feel like I got it out pretty good, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think lyrically this record is quite developed for me, so I'm proud of that.
So the EP actually ends off with one of my favorite tracks from it called Lucky Numbers.
Oh, cool.
It's a lot more energetic than the beginning, the first few tracks. Would you say that's where you're heading, or will it always be a mix of both?
Well, first of all, that's awesome. I didn't even realize you'd heard those tracks yet. That's great. I got ins. You got ins. Good man. I don't even know where those songs are. No, that's great. The Lucky Numbers thing is sort of I was kind of going for like an old school Foo Fighters-y vibe on it or something, and I really like that track a lot. It's a lot of fun to play. But you know what, man? I think that mix of songs that you're hearing is across the spectrum of the EP is very much me, and I think that is sort of the thing that will stick in the future as well. I'll develop it obviously as I go, but that's sort of really what I was going for. I'm really happy with the sound, and I know Lucky Numbers is a little more energetic than most of the stuff on there, but I just need, I think it's important for a record to have some diversity, to have some energetic sound and more laid back and a ballad, whatever. And so that's why, it's I'm glad you like that song. That's great to hear.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was great to have you on the show today. Your show, you have a show coming up on March 7th, 2014 at Adelaide Hall in Toronto.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's right. That's awesome. And you're also all over social media as well. Your Twitter is at MattWebbMT.
Yeah, that's correct. At MattWebbMT, and then you can get me on Facebook at facebook.com/MattWebbOfficial. And on that page, there's a tour dates page, and you can click on there, and it's got links to all the shows that I'm doing, starting March 5th in Hamilton and ending on March 27th in Vancouver.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Matt, for hanging out with us today.
No problem, Sean. Thanks. And nice to meet you and Katrina. So you guys take care.
And that wraps up the show for today. You can find myself on Twitter at Sean Chin, my guest co-host Katrina at Penguins Like Cake. You can follow the show at Live in Limbo and use the hashtag Capsule Podcast to join in on the conversation. And as always, you can find the show notes at liveinlimbo.com.